Good evening. This week, the Republican National Committee and the Trump re-election campaign held their convention with some familiar faces. There was this guy, Senator Tim Scott, former South Carolina Governor Nimrod Randhawa, football great Herschel Walker, the Attorney General of Kentucky, who still has yet to charge the police who murdered Breonna Taylor, and of course, perennial favorite, Dr. Ben Carson. Noticeably absent were some of President Trump's most vocal supporters, including Candace Owens, the delightful duo Diamond and Silk, recently canceled by Fox News, somewhat ironically for complaining about their own experiences with racism at the network, and of course, Herman Cain, who sadly became one of 180,000 now dead Americans from the coronavirus, which he contracted after attending a Trump rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma in June. All that loyalty, all that commitment, and you didn't even get a mention, much less a moment of silence at the RNC convention. Never a fan of your politics, but you, your memory, and your family deserve better. Also missing, Jerry Falwell Jr. Something about a pool party? But I digress. For a party that claims they don't see race, the RNC's cavalcade of black and brown friends sure did spend an uncomfortable and inordinate amount of time trying to convince the viewing public, and especially those suburban housewives, President's words, not mine, that President Trump isn't racist. Pro tip: if you're going to march each and every one of your minority friends in front of the mic to say you're not a racist, well, you just might be. And in the very least, you should be consistent with your messaging, because law and order is a 1968 slogan made famous by Richard Nixon after the nationwide civil unrest and protests which followed the assassinations of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and RFK.
Dissent is a necessary ingredient of change. But in a system of government that provides for peaceful change, there is no cause that justifies resort to violence. Let us recognize that the first civil right of every American is to be free from domestic violence. So I pledge to you, we shall have order in the United States.
Woo! What a classic, am I right? So whether it's Nixon's 1968 racist campaign, those lovable Willie Horton ads from 1988, or President Trump's current iteration, this rehashing of law and order is sort of like when McDonald's took the hamburger and took him from that mean-looking character that I grew up with to that lovable Rascallion in the 80s to this suburban dad type who's obviously on a cheat meal from his CrossFit plan. I ain't mad at you, player. Get your money. So no matter what striped suit dude is wearing, he's still stealing hamburgers. And likewise, with this new version of Law and Order, we see what you're doing. You're not smart, clever, strategically brilliant, or funny. It's small, and you should be called out for it. You see, on the one hand, you want to say you're not racist, while on the other, appealing to the worst fears regarding crime and race of people living in the suburbs. I believe the late Gwen Ifill, journalist extraordinaire, said it best when she once said, "I can't disagree with the need for a grasp of history." That's your Pipes 31 news break. I'm Martin J.